Welcome to Facts for Real Videos. After the line and the octagon came the Dubai Circle, which is now a massive cube. Saudi Arabia unveiled the mukaab earlier this month as its most recent undertaking. It's a cube so large that 20 Empire State Buildings could fit inside of it. As a gateway to another world, according to Saudi Arabia, it has a holographic dome that whisks guests away to other planets and fantastical realms. But will the mukaab actually be completed, or is this merely a viral marketing gimmick? If so, when would it start to accept visitors? We'll look at everything we've learned so far in this video. Saudi Arabia is a powerful nation in the Middle East that is well known for its enormous oil reserves. But Saudi Arabia wants to rely less on this oil in order to reduce its dependence. Because of this, they have begun launching and constructing enormous megaprojects under the motto, Vision 2030, in an effort to gradually transition their economy away from oil and towards tourism. The biggest of these endeavors is NEOM, a $1 trillion megaproject that consists of the 170-kilometer-long line city, the floating port city of Octagon, and the enormous Trojena ski resort in the Arabian desert. NEOM has already been covered in several of our earlier films. But there have been some significant upgrades to these projects over the past few weeks. The CEO of NEOM stated in January that 20% of the city's infrastructure had already been built. The line, the octagon, and Trojena were just a few of the enormous construction sites visible in an update video that opened with the words, "NEOM is real." Additionally, Saudi Arabia has teamed with some significant corporations, such as Oracle and NVIDIA, to put up NEOM's citywide AI technology. As if there weren't already enough brand new projects after the unveiling of NEOM with the line, octagon, and Trojena. Greetings from New Murabba. The newest component to Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 is this cube. Saudi Arabia doesn't want to overlook the other major cities in the kingdom despite the recent focus on NEOM. Because of this, New Murabba will be constructed in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Riyadh is already a city that is expanding quickly. It was a small village with fewer than 500,000 people 50 years ago, but it today has more than 7 million people, making it the third largest metropolis in the Middle East. And according to Mohammed bin Salman, the Saudi Crown Prince, the New Murabba project will create the largest contemporary downtown in the entire globe. It is anticipated that this new district would accelerate Riyadh's expansion. More than 80 entertainment outlets, a number of walking routes, a sizable museum, and the enormous mukaab itself will be located there. The name of the structure will be the cube, since mukaab is Arabic for cube. After the line and the octagon, Saudi Arabia's megaprojects seem to have a trend of building basic geometric structures at absurd scales. According to some, the mukaab is the new face of Riyadh. The Najdi architectural style, which has been popular among Saudi Arabians for many years, served as the inspiration for the cube's facade. Sunlight will reflect off the lovely surface, which will dominate Riyadh's skyline. This cube will be astounding in its size. It will officially qualify as a super-tall skyscraper because it is 400 meters tall. It would be the fourth tallest structure in Dubai. The mukaab, however, would entirely dominate the skyline because it is 400 meters broad in contrast to other skyscrapers. To put things into perspective, the mukaab is large enough to fit 20 Empire State Buildings. It would be much larger than any current cube-shaped structures found elsewhere in the world. For instance, a spectacular office block in Germany is called the Berlin Cube. Although it is eye-catching due to its mirror-like sides, it is just 40 meters tall. Thousands of them might fit inside the mukaab. This cube might probably surpass the Boeing Everett factory in Washington, which now holds the record for largest building in terms of volume. In fact, it would be so large that the cube could house the Boeing factory roughly 5 times. But what use will all of this space serve? The mukaab cube is designed to make entering it feel like stepping into another universe. Overlooking its visitors will be a massive dome that showcases various virtual realities. The purpose of these holographic displays is to give visitors to the mukaab the impression that they are somewhere else entirely. You might be in the middle of the ocean in one instant and on Mars' surface or in a fantastical realm in another. It's intended to be a completely immersive experience unlike anything you've ever had. A spiral tower that rises from the floor to the roof and resembles an anthill or brackets of fungus will be located in the center of the dome. This tower is intended to be a high-end tourism attraction for visitors from all over the world. Additionally, it will have dining establishments, lodging options, observation decks, and movie theaters. The enormous cube will next envelop the tower and the dome. Additionally, the cube's four corners will be filled with facilities that are stacked in towers that resemble skyscrapers. Additionally, the top will be utilized to house lakes, gardens, and trees. It depends on the situation as to whether or not it makes sense to create a lake there. If you've liked this video thus far, please help us reach 1 million subscribers by subscribing to Facts for Real videos. So why is the mukaab designed like a cube? The cube-shaped design of the mukaab is, in the opinion of its creators, the best one for housing all the cutting-edge technologies that will assist the entire experience. The equipment will need to be concealed in the area between the bell jar dome and the outside cube, although it is unclear how they intend to display the virtual worlds. To support the gardens on the top of the cube, there will also need to be a substantial array of joists and beams between the dome and the shell. The cube's corner towers, which resemble skyscrapers, will provide additional stability. It's doubtful if that would be able to sustain the largest roof in the entire globe, let alone the garden on top. The mukaab is intended to become more recognizable thanks to its cube-shaped appearance. The mukaab would provide Riyadh a distinctive landmark that would help it stand out among other major cities throughout the globe. It is comparable to the Statue of Liberty in New York or the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Anyone who views a picture of the cube will immediately conjure up Riyadh in their minds. However, there has been some feedback about the shape. According to some, it resembles the Kaaba in Mecca, another city in Saudi Arabia. A Muslim must face the Kaaba when praying wherever in the world because it is the religion's holiest place. Others, however, have disputed the similarity and noted that there are other cubes in the world outside the Kaaba. Nobody compared the Berlin cube to the Kaaba when it was constructed in Germany, so why should the mukaab be any different? These people also noted that the Saudi monarch is Muslim. As a result, they wouldn't purposefully construct a building in the shape of the Kaaba, making the similarity likely to be coincidental. In general, enthusiasm and mystery have followed the introduction of the mukaab project. But everyone is wondering if the mukaab will actually be constructed. Though it hasn't started yet, construction should get going in the next months. In line with the other projects included in Vision 2030, such as the Line, Oxagon, and Trojena, Saudi Arabia has stated that the project will be completed and open to the public by the year 2030. This project is probably simpler to do than the Line. However, it would still be the largest megaproject ever constructed. Its outcome is therefore unpredictable. So let's divide it into three distinct situations. The first potential outcome, which Saudi Arabia would undoubtedly appreciate the most, is that the cube's construction will begin in the next months and would be completed by 2030, as they have promised. Riyadh will have a new symbol and gradually draw travelers from all over the world to become one of the most popular travel destinations. There are many obstacles to overcome, which brings us to the following second scenario. If everything sounds too good to be true, financial professionals already have doubts about the project's viability. They are unable to predict where Saudi Arabia will get the money to fund yet another massive undertaking. Dr. Andreas Krieg, a specialist in Middle Eastern studies at King's College London, stated, "The finances of all of this are not entirely secured." CNN questioned the Public Investment Fund about the project's financing a few days after the mukaab made their statement. The PIF retorted that although financial information had not yet been made public, it will soon. The amount of foreign investment will be crucial. Saudi Arabia wants to pull in more than $100 billion annually by 2030, which would aid in funding initiatives like the mukaab. They haven't reached that level yet, but if enough publicity can be created, international investment might start to increase quickly. However, there is no assurance that will happen. Amnesty International's accusations of human rights breaches against Vision 2030 cast a shadow over the initiative as a whole and would deter foreign investors. Even if Saudi Arabia succeeds in raising the funds, a considerably more challenging obstacle remains. Is this massive undertaking even technically feasible? Holograms like the ones the mukaab announced don't yet exist. Even if certain cutting-edge businesses, like Light Field Lab, have made significant strides lately, holograms the size of mukaab's dome still seem like science fiction. Large LED screens may likely produce a similar result. This is taking place at the MSG Sphere, a project that is currently being constructed in Las Vegas and is scheduled to debut this year. The inside wall of this immersive entertainment space will be totally covered by a wraparound screen, and it will be formed like a huge sphere. It will be the world's largest screen at 15,000 square meters, or roughly the size of 3 football fields. It's intended to take viewers of the sphere into immersive realms, much as the mukaab in Saudi Arabia. The mukaab screen, though, would have to be significantly larger than the one in the MSG Sphere, and it's uncertain whether one that size could possibly be constructed. Remember the enormous lake that is located on the cube's roof as well. Millions of liters of water would considerably raise the structure's stress levels. So the cube would need to be made very solidly and entirely waterproof. It would be disastrous for the pricey technology right below if the lake were to spill. In other words, the cube is already up against some formidable obstacles. There's a danger it won't get finished if there isn't funding for it or the necessary technology. A third possibility, though, is that the cube might one day be constructed, albeit in a scaled-down, less ambitious form. Its size could be decreased from 400 meters to 200 meters or less. It would still be the world's tallest cube-shaped structure even at 100 meters, making it a striking sight to behold. In comparison to the existing designs, it would be disappointing, but it would still be an improvement. Although it is hard to predict what will occur next, it is certain that the following 2 years are going to be very interesting. The mukaab, the line, and other groundbreaking initiatives might welcome visitors when 2030 eventually arrives. Perhaps none of them will ever be completed. How do you feel? Tell us in the comments section below. Watch our film about Trojena if you want to learn more about Vision 2030. We appreciate your time and hope to see you in the next video.